Alright, what's going on, guys? Berserk episode 12 of the Memorial Edition. Let's get right into it. But before we do that, if you guys got time, please subscribe to the Berserk Dude channel. And if you want to support the channel further, you can consider supporting me on Patreon as well. Otherwise, the best thing you can do is watch the videos and give me a like, guys. But yeah, let's get into episode 12. And before we actually start the episode itself, I just want to say, guys, that now that we're at the final 2 episodes, it's a little bit sad for me. I've had a lot of fun going through these 13 episodes with you guys, breaking them down, talking about them, revisiting a movie I haven't seen in years, and you know, seeing the new additions to the Memorial Edition has been a lot of fun as well. So yeah, just want to thank you guys for, you know, going along with the experience with me and just having a great time. So as you guys remember, Griffith is sitting down and he's listening to the God Hand, and he's being given a choice. But before he's given that choice, he sees a vision of his younger self running toward the kingdom. But as he's running towards that kingdom, he soon realizes that he's running on top of a bunch of dead bodies. Dead bodies from the Band of the Hawk that died in his previous battles. And there's an old fortune teller who's telling him that he's the cause of all these dead bodies, and that if he wants to attain that kingdom, he has to stack the bodies higher. And he stares off in the distance and he sees that shining, gleaming kingdom that he's always wanted all his life. And then he's brought back to reality and he's like, what was that? An illusion of my mind? And Ubik is like, yes, you created this illusion. This is truly what you want in your heart. And the Band of the Hawk is watching on, and they're very scared and fearful right now. And then Void brings out this burning symbol, the brand of sacrifice, and he gives Griffith a choice. Sacrifice all your comrades. Sacrifice the wings of the Band of the Hawk, and you shall be given jet black wings in return. And Guts is watching on, and then Griffith has a moment in which he remembers all the times with Guts. Everything from their first sword battle to when he left the Band of the Hawk to all their battles. And then he finally says the words, I sacrifice, as he stares down Guts. Now Guts goes to get Griffith, but unfortunately for him, the giant hand, the hand of God, closes down on Griffith, blocking Guts' entry point. And then Void lifts up his arms, we see the brand of sacrifice gleaming in the sky, and then it spreads out across the entire Band of the Hawk, marking every single member, in a very unique location. For example, we see a mark on Guts' neck, for Casca it's on her heart, for Corcus it's on his forehead, Pippin it's on his arm, and Judo it's on his hand. Now I actually made a video about this in which I explained why these specific brand of sacrifice marks are going on unique locations for each member of the Band of the Hawk. So watch that video if you're interested in that. And with this, all the apostles in the area take their cue and start to wreak havoc on all the members of the Band of the Hawk. And you see Pippin fighting off the monsters, and he tells Casca to go, she's got to live. And she doesn't want to go, she wants to fight with Pippin and the rest of the Band of the Hawk, but Judo grabs her on top of a horse and runs away. We then go outside of the eclipse and we see Rickert staring at the giant tornado / vortex that is just consuming the entire area. And Rickert is wondering what the heck is going on, and then he sees something off in the distance, and it's none other than Skull Knight and Zod fighting each other. And Zod's talking about the fact that Skull Knight's been opposing the God Hand for the last 1,000 years, and Skull Knight is questioning Zod. He's like, oh, so you're acting as the gatekeeper, huh? And Zod's like, hardly. I could care less about their little indulgent spree inside. And then we go back inside the eclipse, and we see Corcus running away, and he's like, oh my god, this is a dream. I must be dreaming. I must be at my favorite bar right now. But then he looks forward and he sees a beautiful naked lady and he's like, ooh, maybe I'm not dreaming. Let's hope this isn't a dream. And he rests his head inside her soft breast. But unfortunately for him, the woman transforms into a horrific monster and consumes him. And it's a monster that's very similar to the H.R. Geiger monsters, especially the ones from Alien. Something that inspired Kentaro Miura back in the day. We then see Guts saying, you know, it can't be true. Griffith would never said yes to this, but Ubik and Slan tell him otherwise. We then see a very strange monster confront Judo and Casca, and Judo decides to protect Casca with his body, but unfortunately for him, the monster impales him with his tentacles. Judo then throws a small dagger at the monster's eye, and Casca finishes it off. Now Casca decides to carry Judo as they walk away, and Judo is thinking about the fact that, you know, after all these years, I thought I was a lot cooler than I actually was, but even now, even in my last moments, I can't tell Casca my true feelings, and unfortunately, before he says anything further, he collapses to the ground and dies. And then Casca's still got her knife in hand, but unfortunately for her, she's quickly surrounded by the apostles. Elsewhere, we see Guts with a horn, and he's just impaling monsters left and right, trying to do the best he can in the circumstance. And then we transition over to Griffith as he's transforming into a demon himself. And I gotta say, I really love this part. The 2D animation here is really fantastic. You know, we see a lot of great scenes as Griffith is descending down into the abyss, and we see all the Baylets coming in front of his body. And it's very Stanley Kubrick-esque. It's very similar to 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know, we see these lights, this psychedelic drug trip. It almost looks like brainwaves at a certain point. You know, we see the outer view of space, you know, Earth and the sun in the background. It's just a very gorgeous set of images. It reminds me a lot of 2001: A Space Odyssey and even Evangelion in a lot of ways as well. And then Guts eventually reaches a pool of blood and he realizes that it's all the members of the Band of the Hawk and no one seems to be alive at this moment. He then sees Pippin standing on top of a hill, but unfortunately when he gets to Pippin, he realizes that he's already dead. And the person that killed him was none other than the Count from the Black Swordsman arc, otherwise known as the Slug Baron. And just like Casca, Guts quickly realizes that he's being surrounded by all the apostles. And then as this is happening, we see Griffith's body as it's fully transformed into Femto, the new member of the God Hand. He then opens up his mouth, spreads his wings, and starts flying through the air and starts saying, na 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 Batman. Anyone who's seen the Berserk outtakes knows what I'm talking about. And then Femto steps down onto the ground, and we got this great final shot here of Guts, Femto, and all the monsters in the background. And it's just absolutely gorgeous, and we know exactly what's going to happen next. But for the Memorial Edition, that's the end of the episode itself. So yeah, just what a gorgeous episode, guys. No new material, but in regards to the movies themselves, this is probably the best of the movies right here. These scenes, especially the ones with Griffith going down into the abyss, are just some of the best stuff that the movies have to offer. So tell me what you guys thought of this episode. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And we got one more episode to go, guys. Episode 13 is coming out next Saturday, and then we're done with the Memorial Edition. So it's been a fun ride. I can't wait to complete it with you guys, and I'll catch you on the flip side.